Hey pin traders, my name is Elliot and this is episode 2 of Pin Trading for Beginners. Today's episode is going to be focused about why we pin trade, and for everyone that could be something different. So let's talk about goals. What is your goal for pin trading? Some people trade pins because they just want a sense of community. They just want to help people finish their collections. They don't really want to keep things. They just want to keep the metal moving, and that's totally fine. Others are looking for certain collections. They might collect a specific character or try to go for a set. Today my friend is letting me borrow her space so I can show you how she organizes her pins. I also brought some of my pins along so I can show you how I organize a couple of mine, especially when I'm about to go to the parks. Let's start with this pin board from my friend. This cork board is made with fabric and some foam, and I think there might be a little cork underneath. This was only $1 from the Dollar Tree, but it's the perfect place for her to organize a smaller collection. Here, she really wanted to go for this magnifying glass set from the Daring Detectives mystery box that came out a little while ago. What's cool about this set is that it features some really fun, unique characters who don't always get the spotlight on some pins, and they actually have an effect called a stained glass effect. Now, the stained glass effect is becoming bigger in popularity here with pins, and I can kind of show you here that the stained glass is when there is color in the pin, but it's also see-through. See how you can see my hand through there? Or my eye? These pins were limited edition and came with only 2 pins in each box. Guests at the time were limited to only 2 boxes each. So you basically had to pin trade in order to finish the collection if that was your goal. There are some pin traders out there who are trying to go character complete. Character complete means you have every pin of one character. So every single Stitch pin, for example. So these type of people might not try to get the whole magnifying glass, but are only in search for that one Stitch pin. So that person might only buy 1 or 2 boxes just in order to get what they need. And then they can trade away any extras that they have, which is perfect for people who are looking for the whole set. A lot of times when a mystery box set comes out like this, it can be a little tricky to get the whole thing without trading with others. This is because guests are limited to the number of boxes that they can get, and also some characters are definitely a bit more easy to find than others. But pin trading is the fun part, and that's why you're here. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you already know one of the sets I collect. It's not Stitch, it's actually Stitch's cousins, the Experiments. This is my on-the-go bag. I have this all set up for 626 Day, which is June 26th, each year where you celebrate Stitch. I keep this together in my Go Pin Pro board, and I use my center clear sleeved page to show off pins on the outside, and then the inside is full of my traders. It's a really thin, sleek design, easy for me to hold over my shoulder or wear as a crossbody bag. In my collection, you can actually see there's a variety of sets in order for me to get the characters I want. Now, we have this set here, the ones with the blue. These were all part of a mystery set that came out in a previous year, and I did not get any of those characters. I wasn't there for the drop or for like the day or two around when they first came out. So I had to collect them after the fact, which at the time was a bit more difficult just because of how limited edition these pins are and how many people wanted them. Some people collect anything Stitch related, not just Stitch, but the cousins and Pleakley and Jumba and Lilo, everything. But for myself, I only collect the cousins. They hold a soft spot in my heart because I loved the Lilo and Stitch, the series, from when I was a child. My favorite cousin is Felix. One day I hope to be Felix complete. I think there's currently only 4 or 5 Felix pins, so it wouldn't be too difficult to be Felix complete. However, if you have a character like Stitch, I'm sure there are thousands of Stitch pins, and they come out with new ones every month. This is how I have my traders set up right now. I have it set up specifically in this way because of the park I was going to and what sort of trades I was hoping to make. Right now at Hollywood Studios, there is a villains show, and I thought perhaps there might be villain fans out there who'd be interested in villain pins. I have a Disney Funko villains set with the backing card here, and I thought maybe that could make a good trade with someone. I also have extra detective pins in here because some people haven't completed that collection yet, and I know someone else might be looking for this pin, and I really like to help others finish their sets. And finally, I have some hidden Mickey pins. Hidden Mickey pins are definitely great to trade, especially when the packs first come out. From this year, we have these hexagons and then the buses here on the left. That castle right there, that's part of the new wave. If you want to go for a more classic look, you can always display your pins on a lanyard. It makes it really easy to grab and go and wear at the park, and you can show off whatever character or collection you have directly on the lanyard. I have Stitch right now because of 626 Day. Then when you get home, all you have to do is place a hook on the wall and hang up your pins. Then they're displayed, almost like how people will display their medals on the wall when they run races, but instead you're displaying a collection. Lanyards can hold a ton of pins. And remember, you don't need to get a Disney official lanyard like this one. You can get lanyards from Walmart, from Five Below, or maybe you have an old one from Disney World. Some of the older lanyards from Disney were made of a really good thick woven material. I think it's really good to put more rare pins on a thicker lanyard because it holds them a bit tighter and it doesn't wreck the material that your lanyard's on. These newer lanyards are quite thin, but they come with really cute designs, and sometimes they highlight the specific character you want to put your pins to match with. Disney lanyards can be secured with your Mickey back, but it can also be secured with a different back. You can buy more secure backings online, and Disney themselves actually does sell a locking back, which is supposed to hold your pin nice and tight no matter what ride you go on. Now I want to show off this corkboard behind me and how my friend is displaying their pins in their bedroom. Let's give it a look. My friend here is working on a couple different collections, and this is the easiest way for her to see what pins she needs, and she can also display them. So she's a photographer, and she likes to collect these camera pins that they open and close, which I think is really cool. These pins are from Loungefly, so you can get them from places like Box Lunch or Hot Topic. There is a princess set, there's a dog and cat set, and then this one had more random characters. Like this is Moana, but I believe like Mickey's in this set too. She has some alternative cameras here. They do not open and close, but she still likes the look of them. Just a little bit lower than that, you see here, these are some Disneyland Hong Kong pins. She got these special from a family member who had traveled there back in the early 2000s, and she wants them in a place where she can see them all the time because it reminds her of the friendship she has with her family member, as well as how cool of an opportunity it would be if she were to go to Hong Kong Disneyland one day. Finally, we have these sets here. We have mugs, cups, and the high heels. Unfortunately, these sets are faked very often. In fact, most of the pins in this collection are fake pins, but my friend doesn't mind. She just wants them because she likes the way they look. And when it comes to fake pins, it's your choice whether or not you want to keep them in your collection. I know that some people put the fakes in their collection to begin with and then work their way up to getting the real versions. The fake pins can range from a price of like 50 cents all the way up to a regular Disney price pin. Some of these ones, because they're older, might cost a little bit more than their original worth, but it's nice to have real ones in case she wants to trade them back one day. This bad boy here is the PinFolio Show Extra Large. This is made by GoPin Pro, and you can purchase one online or from Pin HQ. Let's take a look at her pins. She's got some really great ones in the front. Some of them are vintage. She uses them just as display. You're able to open the clear piece here to switch out the pins you have in the front. She pretty much sticks to these majority vintage pins that she got throughout her childhood in the front, but sometimes she'll make it a specific character. She uses the PinFolio Show Extra Large as storage for her pins. She's pretty tiny, and so having something this big and this heavy in the park isn't the best for her, but it works for her storage and organization needs. Now let's see what else is on the inside here. So these are where she is just now starting some of her collections. She only started pin trading a couple months ago, but I've worked really hard to help her build her collection so that she can become a pin trader. She obviously likes the Brother Bear pins and has these two pins from her childhood, the Lion King ones, and she just started her Fox and the Hound collection. In fact, she just got this pin yesterday. On this page, we have more vintage pins, but my favorite has got to be some of these Pooh Bear ones, like Pooh Bear sliding down the rainbow. He actually moves. And then, oh my gosh, look, High School Musical and Cheetah Girls. This was my life in the 2000s. But her favorite movie is Alice in Wonderland. In fact, she had a doll that she called Alice when she was younger, and she definitely had to have pins to highlight her favorite. Some of these pins are open edition, meaning you can get them in the park pretty much at any time and places like Disney Springs. Usually open edition pins will be out and about for a year or a few years until they are retired. Some of these pins are actually from mystery packs, like this one here came in a pack of different mystery cats and dogs. And this one here, I believe, was part of a lanyard set. I could be wrong on that one. But I love this one. It's a Small World themed, super cute. Here is where she just started collecting some Pixar pins, not including Morph. But I really like it because what she really wanted and what her main goal for this page was actually the Pizza Planet truck. She was really picky on which truck she wanted, and we traded for it last week. Now this is her absolutely stunning princess page. She doesn't really have a favorite princess like a lot of people do, but she likes collecting certain princess pins in general. Most of these are from her childhood between the years like 2001 and 2006. I like this one because it's lenticular, which means it changes when it moves. Finally, she has some smaller collections she's working on, like some Star Wars pins, some Mickey and Friends pins, and then her personal favorite, Stitch pins. Yeah, she's got 2 pages for that one. So let's remember some of the things we want to do when it comes to pin trading. Create goals for the pins that you want to find. Remind yourself why you're pin trading in the first place. Is it to collect or is it to make new friends? And number 3 is to make sure that you're having fun. You're pin trading the way that you want to pin trade. It's easy to look online and see influencers who are trying to find the most limited edition pins, the hardest pins to find, and the more rare vintage pins. If that's not your style, then don't go for it. And there's no real way to organize your pins. You can see a lot of people who will have big displays that cover their whole wall full of thousands of pins. You're definitely not going to start off that way. So figure out what's convenient for you to travel with, to display, and what you want to highlight. I have a collection at home of pins that look like Polaroids and photo strips from a photo booth, and then I put my actual Polaroid photos and my photo strips with them. I use them as thumbtacks to hold them up on a corkboard. We also made these super cute picture frame corkboards for us to show very specific pins in. I'm actually going to post a tutorial on how to make them because it's super easy, it's really affordable, and let's be honest, so cute. And if you don't have the space to show and display your pins right now, that's okay, because the world has gone digital and there are apps now where you can keep track of your collections and search for pins too. There are many apps out there, but for my personal needs, I use the pin trading app because it has everything I'm looking for. Just from the home screen, I can see how many pins I have, how many pins I have ready to trade, and how many pins are in my in search of list. Which, yes, it's 182 pins, and honestly, probably more. I can look at the collections I've already created to keep track of which things I want to complete and what pins I'm looking for, and I'll know which pins I'm missing from a set. Like, I collect Disney fairies. They were a big part of my childhood, and these are all the fairy pins I do have. It also shows you the value of your collection, which is really cool. One of the characters I collect is Figment, and sometimes it's hard to remember which Figment pins I have and which ones I just want. I have 74 Figment pins. Let's take a look. These are all the Figment pins I have, and being able to just pull this up on my phone while I'm in the parks, at an event, or a yard sale or something, it makes it really easy to be like, oh right, I already have that pin. Thanks for following along and watching this video. If you want to see more, I'm going to be pumping them out over the next couple weeks. Feel free to leave a question in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer, or you can DM me through TikTok or Instagram. It's the same username, Elliot's Corkboard. Oh, and just so you know, that's double L, double T, Elliot.